Hello, ladies. Welcome to Tribe with Olive. I told you we're in a love month and we're painting this whole month of February red. With me on the set today is an amazing woman. I call her Gracie. Her name is Grace Tebu. Wonderful woman with a lovely home, lovely children, career oriented, just all in one. So I'm going to be having an amazing chat with her today. A whole lot of women are going through a lot, and being a counselor, people come from different parts of the world, and we're going to be discussing the prevalent issues in marriage relationship. She's also married to a wonderful man, and she's a mother of 3. You're welcome, Gracie.
Thank you, ma'am.
How important is respect to a man? I hear a whole lot of men are complaining the girl does not show respect. The girl talks to me as though I am her son. What do you think is the problem?
Well, on the unwillingness for a woman to submit to a man,
Okay.
I think is the reason why a lot of men feel they are not respected.
Okay.
And the way women communicate with their husband is part of the reason.
Yes, communication.
Communication
Yeah.
is one of the reasons why a man would want to feel is not respected. And some women do not allow their men to take the lead. They don't allow the man to show leadership.
They are too independent.
Yes, they are too independent and they want to show this bossy nature of them, and they will not allow the man take that leadership, presence, and role in their life. So by the time you start telling this man, do this, do that, he will feel you don't respect him enough. He will feel you talk him down. He will feel he doesn't have an opinion when it comes to your home and all that. So when you don't allow a man make certain decisions, he does not feel respected.
I also feel the word is accountable. Some ladies, they just want to be married and be single. It does not work. It can't work. You're not accountable to him. Maybe you decided to go see a movie and you're there 7 p.m. You did not tell him, or you were supposed to close from work and come home straight, and something came up. You didn't send a text. Darling, honey, sugar, babe, I'll branch off to church for evening service. You did not, you just want to run your own life. You want to be independent. You don't want the man to know how much you earn. You don't want to tell him your whereabouts. You're not accountable. It could be one of the reasons why men feel they are not respected.
How do you define submission? Now that we're discussing respect in a home, how do you define submission when it comes to the man and the woman? How do a man or a woman submit to a husband?
Well, for me, submission is an attitude before it becomes action. Now, submission is a willingness to trust your husband's leadership. Is a willingness to submit to his leadership. Respect. Recognize him as the head of the home. That's submission. Now, there are things that make submission easy. When the man loves the woman, when the man is responsible, when the man is playing his husband role well, the leadership is in place and all that. But even in situations, there are some, like 1 Peter 3 talked about, the man who is not an unbeliever, who probably does not obey these things, maybe by your conduct, modest conduct, you can also win that man over. So it's an attitude of the heart. And it usually comes from your perception of your husband, how you perceive your husband. What is your ideology? What is the script in your mind about your husband? If you see him as a king, if you see him as the leader, if you see him as your covering, it will affect the way you talk to him. It will affect the way you relate to him. So submission is an attitude of the heart that is manifested through respect, obedience, and trust in the man's leadership.
I also think a woman should be able to communicate her mind and her needs when it comes to submitting to her husband. Some men would want you to do some things that are detrimental to your
values and beliefs. Now, yes, I've had such counseling cases where the woman says, this man says what turns him on is making out with another woman and brings the lady into the home. I said, no, that is anti your belief. That is anti your values. You're not going to submit to the detriment of violating your moral values and your beliefs. That's why it's good to know who you are getting married to. And in a situation where the guy now says, come on, follow me, let's go and rob a bank. If they catch two of you, they will punish you. They won't say it was a man that lured you to do it. So you don't submit to the extent when it's violating the laws of God, to the extent where it's harmful. Maybe the guy is beating you, your life is at a risk, and you say you're there to submit. No, that is wrong submission. That is an unhealthy submission.
Yeah, so this question have been in my mind for a very long time. And now that I have the opportunity, I really want to ask. So how do you deal with men that lack they lack leadership and spiritual ability? They tend to be spiritually laid back, and they don't really show that sign of leadership. So how do you deal with such? Because I notice a lot of women are complaining about that. That sometimes they are the ones making decisions in their home. They tend to do everything, like they run the home as the man and as the woman, and then make them have this masculine energy instead of them projecting their femininity.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with men like that? Men that lack spiritual leadership, that are laid back spiritually, and they can't really take the lead.
Just like what you explained, it makes the women do. That is actually what it actually gives birth to for the woman. The woman becomes bossy, becomes masculine, because there's nothing as thoughtful as seeing a man. And when a man is present and the woman is the one, you carry baby, you go out to look for money, there are issues, obvious issues, and the man is not showing any spiritual interest. There's no leadership. Just like we're in the new year now, a lot of men have not carried their wives along. Even if you feel you don't want to know your wife's vision, you are obligated to chart the course for the year for the woman. Okay, these are the things you are believing God for. These are the things I want to do. These are the things, so that the woman will be on the same page. When you're laid back leadership wise, it frustrates the woman, because a woman is at her best when she's following you, not when she's taking the lead in the presence of a man. If she's alone, she can take all that lead, take all that decision. But once a man is present, she wants to feel your leadership. So when you're not spiritually responsible, you're not showing leadership in any way. And some men feel, some of the men that have this tendency, a lot of men that have these tendencies are mostly, sometimes they don't have the place of, this is partnership. I need to carry my wife along for her to be healthy. That's why you see in homes, it looks like the woman is going on a different direction, the man is going on a different direction. That man was not making efforts to chart the path for the woman, to say this is where we are going to. When a woman knows where you're going to, she tends to align. But in a situation where she doesn't even know where you are, she tries to bring it up, what's your plan for the year, darling? What's your plan? And the man is not showing any leadership responsibility towards that. It makes her try to fend for herself. It makes her try to chart the course for herself when you're there. And some men now sees that as being too independent. While it was your lack of leadership that made her that way.
It turns into disrespect, and then they start seeing it as a sign of disrespect.
Yes.
From the woman's part, because she's not able to submit to you the way she ought to, because you're not showing her that kingly thing over her. You're not showing her you are covering over her.
Yes.
You're not showing her that you're the leader. So it makes her tend to withdraw and show some sign of resentment.
Yes. But darling, I will usually advise women, if he does not want to show leadership, that doesn't make you disrespect him.
Right.
That does not give you the ground to talk to him in a negative way. That does not give you that right. That does not give you that right at all. If you start doing that, start bossing him around like you're his mother, start coercing him, talking him down, it's going to produce a more terrible person out of him. Sure, model, lead by example. Organize your own life. If possible, tell him, honey, let me share my 2026 goal with you. Okay, these are the things I want to do. I want to do this course. I want to do this. I want to make so money. Because some of them is ignorance. They are not taught. They were never groomed to take leadership. Do you understand? Sure, model that you are in control of your life. It will get him thinking. Maybe next year he will even write his own resolution. Do you get resolution and give to you? And so that does not make you, that shouldn't make you disrespecting, but model discipline, model character before him.
Okay, right, ma, there's this question I'm wanting to ask as well. So there are a lot of dangers. We know as women, we tend to suppress our emotions.
Okay.
We tend to keep into our feelings. We tend not to talk too much. What are the dangers? Dangers of suppressing our emotions and our feelings.
Wow. You know, I'm an emotional therapist. You know, a whole lot of women that are in toxic relationships tend to suppress emotion. And suppressing emotion is very dangerous. You know, when you're getting the goosebumps you don't want from the guy, maybe he talks you down, he takes very harsh decisions, and you're not able to talk it over. Because of our culture, and maybe, yes, culture, and maybe some imbalanced teaching, they tell you keep enduring, you don't say anything, and all that. And the moment a woman is in that state, that's why you see an emotionally detached couples. Because issues were not talked over. Now, there is a difference between an assertive communication or woman, or the one who bursts emotion, or the one who suppresses emotion. The one who suppresses emotion don't get better, because when you suppress emotion, it usually manifests in different ways, as resentment, emotional numbness, disrespect, anger. They are there, and when those things are piled up in the heart of a woman, she can't give you her best. She becomes subtly rebellious, even without her knowing. She feels you don't care for her. So even though she has kept quiet, there's a volcano inside. So suppressing emotion is not the best. Then exploding emotion is also not the best, because the moment you start shouting, nagging, the man logs off. He doesn't ever want to see you sound to him like his boss in the office or his mother. So exploding emotion does not get the work done. What gets the work done is your ability to control your emotion and assertively communicate your needs, your displeasure. What does that mean, assertively? It means your ability to communicate with clarity and respect. So it's not that you swept things under the carpet, but you were able to communicate with respect and with clarity, not beating about the bush this other day. Let him understand what you're saying. Constructively communicate. That is what solves the issue, not emotional suppression.
So in this, it means women, we need to always manifest our inner beauty. Because there are a lot of characteristics around our inner beauty. You taught us some of them, and some of them is your voice, how you communicate with your man. Learn how to use that inner, sweet, feminine voice of yours. So there are a lot of characteristics around the inner beauty of a woman. Can you list some?
Inner beauty. Inner beauty is amazing. The place that actually emphasized that is 1 Corinthians 3.
Yeah.
The inward beauty of the meek and quiet spirit. There are characteristics of an inner beauty, and once you possess it, you will not complain that your husband does not hear you. Now, in communication, 90% of the communication is actually read by the tone. Some women feel shouting and all that and telling him the truth. He's been sleeping. But why are you still sleeping by this time? You're just a lazy. Or even if you're saying something neutral, but the tone is very wrong, the man still misunderstands you. So, inner beauty, meek and quiet spirit. Be kind. Be patient. Be peaceful. Be accommodating. Adapt to him. You know, the advent of social media, the kind of movies, the soap operas that they air now on televisions actually has conditioned a lot of women to compare.
Yeah, and to put pressure.
To put pressure on the men. Adapt with your own husband. Try and learn your own husband. There is a key to that man. Don't try to treat him the way the guy you saw in the movie was treating.
Just treat him as a blessing.
Yeah, but the truth is that we are not teaching you what we don't know. You come around my home, you can tell it, even my children know it, that this woman is adored. And it's not, you can say, yes, I'm a beautiful woman, but it's not really about aesthetics now. There is an inner beauty you will cultivate, like respect, like kindness, like being peaceful. Don't be a chatterbox, tolerance, patience. There's no way that man, you will not, and this is also for the singles, there's no way you will not attract that man of your choice and still keep him.
Yes, and then we are all encouraged to always communicate with respect. Communicate your needs with respect.
Exactly.
Communicate your needs with meekness. Communicate your needs with understanding. You know, there's a point where money might not be too much in the house. There's a way you can place your demands instead of just placing your demands in a way that will make the man start questioning his ability. So it's always advisable to communicate or place your demand in ways that it can be sorted and your needs can be met by the man, especially when the finance is low in the house.
Yeah, there's something I taught my children, and they still do it till today. Whenever they want to, it was my father. I saw my mom taught us that was how we related with my dad. Anytime there was a bill to be paid, maybe they need to get something, they need some money, they need some things for school or one need or the other. You don't go by saying, Daddy, I want this. Say, Daddy, please, I would like to have this. Do you have money for it now? So giving that room makes their daddy a lot of times does not decline. Daddy, do you have money for this? They said we should do this. They said we should do this. Please, I would like to have it. They always go away with their request. In fact, a lot of times my husband overdoes. And my first son has so mastered it that it's hard for you to say no to him. So, likewise the woman. You don't go yelling at him, the date for paying house rent is here. When are you going to pay? I hope you're paying complete. The school fees, better. No, Daddy, the children will soon resume. You know, we pay school fees before. Have you been able to put some money together for it? Because it would be nice that the children start school on time so that they don't stay back. Such communication will get the man, bring out the money, or go and look for the money if he doesn't have it. But when you come yelling, talking him down, most especially when it looks like he doesn't have so much, it turns the man off totally. You become a burden to him.
It's advisable for us to have the ability to communicate with respect and boundaries.
Exactly.
So how do men, we're talking about, let me take it back to respect. How do men really show that they respect and honor their wives?
I like to talk to the women. One of the ways to show that you respect and honor your wife is to show leadership. And a lot of men, when they don't have so much money, they are not able to do this. That you did not bring money does not mean you're not a leader. Have you inquired about your wife's dream, her heart desires, the things she would want to do, the places you think she should improve herself in? Have you shown leadership in maybe going through the children's past results and in indicating their academic strength and indicating the place where maybe they will need help, extra teacher, extra lesson? There's something I don't do. If my husband is around, I don't go check the door in the night. The man is around. So if he forgets me, honey, please, have you checked if the door is locked? I'm going to do it for him. Now when he's not around, I've got my son. I'm going to do it. You're the man. You're the one supposed to protect the whole family. Check if the doors are properly locked. If the windows are properly locked. Check it. My husband I can be around and I'm going to say, I want to on the gen. No. If he's around, let him on the gen or send the gate man to on the gen. I will not do that. Do you understand? And it's not in a good way. I allow him to be the man. So helping and showing honor and respect. Don't talk her down. Don't humiliate her. Don't call her names. Help out when you can. Help her feel like a baby girl. Speak kind words to her. Women are moved by what they hear. That's the truth. Tell her how beautiful she is. Help her around in the house. Don't allow her. Don't be around. She's washing the car, washing all the clothes. Buy washing machine. Make work easier for her. There's something my husband does till now. He's not always around. He's a contractor. He's not. But the times when he's around, he tries to make weekend meals for the family. It doesn't make him less a man. As he will be sleeping, he has made stew, made soup, or maybe he will buy plenty fruits, blend all of them, do different mixture, put in the freezer and be telling us, "Oh, come and taste this." Or that trio that daddy was in the kitchen made food for all of us. He doesn't do it all the time, but he tries to do it when he's around. He's priceless, so help around in the home when you can. Go to market, buy things at times for yourself. Babysit the baby. At times, tell her to sleep. Let you hold this baby till morning. Don't worry, I'm going to show her kindness. That is what matters to a woman. I hope I answered you.
Yes. So how do you deal with women who don't? We have said a lot about that part. I actually wanted to ask on the man's part, but I said let me twist the question. How do you deal with women who don't show remorse?
It's very bad. On both sides.
On both sides.
You can't say you're sorry. Can you say you're sorry? These are the little foxes that spoil the vine. And that's why I run master classes on conflict resolution, on what you talked about, developing character, inner beauty. Because it should be a culture for you to say you're sorry, either to your husband or to your parents or even to a friend. I'm sorry I said things. You should be able to apologize. Most men are the ones prone to this. But when a woman cannot apologize or show remorse, it's not a good one. It actually makes conflict linger in a relationship.
So even when money is low in the house, some men, they tend to feel that they lose their essence when money is low in the house. How can a woman support her man when you know that, okay, this man is not actually lazy, is doing these things to bring money to the house, to make her income, but there are some things that will make him be in the process, right? So how do you show support to such men?
Okay, there's a way to know a man who is in the process and a lazy man. I've told my story some time ago on social media, one of the interviews. When the early stage of my marriage, I was actually the one providing. I had a stable job. My husband was working in the company, but resigned to start his own business. So business wasn't coming as expected, but I had a steady job. And because God had taught me, yes, I had it, but that process deepened my knowledge about two shall be one. You know, I was one earning salary, and luckily the money I was earning was big enough to cater for our needs for years. And I'll bring that money, we'll bring out the savings, the one for his parents, the one for him, the one for me, the one to buy food and pay bills in the house, you know. And that was it at that season. And I noticed, even though I was the one bringing out the money, he doesn't, when I go to work, he goes out. He goes scouting for job. When I come back, he will tell me, I met this client. But deals were not closing up at that time. I could see his effort. I could see he's not a lazy man. I could see his relationship base. I could see the things he was doing to make money. So it wasn't an issue bringing. Even though at one point, I started feeling bad. How can it be only me bringing? And God warned me. He said, you are a channel. Two shall be one. When I look into this family, what I see is that you people have enough. I don't see you as separate, so there's nothing like my money or his money. Yes, so God is the source and I am the channel. So he can decide to use the man as the channel. And this happened years back, early years of our marriage. Today, my husband is still the major provider in the family. And that taught him a lesson. It deepened that revelation about two shall be one. So he has money, I know. He doesn't have money, I know. I know his different accounts. Sometimes I have access to it. It does not password is full that I will not know. Do you get it now? Now, the opposite is a lazy man. A lazy man is not conscious of time. You see them sleep till forever. They don't show any tenacity, any discipline to go look for job. And you see them, they are very prideful. They say, I can't do this kind of job. My husband was a full architect. The company he was working for, he was already one of their chief architects, building their bank contracts. But during those seasons, when he was looking for job, he would go out and probably get flooring contracts, he knows everything. Yes, get supply deals. The money was no much. At least he has something. So one way to notice those lazy men is that they are not willing to go down, to humble themselves, to do legal things their hands can come on to make money. They like to spend, they like to look good, hang out with friends. They don't want to bother. They don't manage money. Because maybe probably they feel their wife, money will come, there's steady money, salary is coming. They are not showing any financial responsibility. They are not making any effort to take care of the woman that they vowed to God and the father to take care of. So, such men, you see the difference. My husband was in that state, but my support in the home till he was able to start making his own money, making his more stable now in his business. But this other person, it shows irresponsibility, does not care about bills, saving money, they squander money, they don't want to help themselves. That's the difference. But that time in this your 10 years of marriage where you had experiences that were not pleasant, like maybe one partner feeling sick, or the financial issue, or maybe arguments, some maybe infidelity. There were crises that come up at times in marriage. Were there times you experienced any of that? How did you manage it?
There was a time I experienced like a financial setback. My husband invested in a deal or a business that did not yield in the way it should. It became a major issue. And before he took that decision, there was no discussion between us. No that discussion you have with your spouse to say, okay, I want to embark on this deal. What do you think about that? I felt it in a way, but I wanted to just let him handle his business by himself. And then when he embarked on that deal, and then there were issues, and the business was not building up, did not pay off, and he didn't get his return on investments. It became a major issue for us because that period we withdrew totally. There were silent treatments, there were, I want to be on my own at this moment. There were a lot. So in my own closet, I remember the Holy Spirit telling me one day that you have to stand in for this man. You have to be that peace he needs. You have to encourage him. You have to support him. You have to be his friend. So those were the things. It wasn't really easy. It wasn't easy.
Of course.
So those were the things I was trying to do. At times I could just write a little note before I leave. I'll just drop it in the car, or I drop it in his room. At times I'll just send him a message. Like, don't worry, everything will be fine. We'll get it back. Don't worry, trust on God and all that. So little by little, we were able to come out of that. It was major. Honestly, it was major. Even up to the connection parts, intimacy parts, it affected a lot. God helping us, we were able to overcome all of that with the help of our counselors, our mentors, reading our books, praying together, and all that. So we were able to come out of it.
Wow, amazing. Thank you for sharing that. The problem is that some men, when they go through these challenges, they withdraw from their spouse. But it takes a woman of wisdom to be able to navigate those seasons. They want to come home to one person who is not going to judge them based on their pocket, based on. I had a similar experience. In fact, that's when I was hitting the wall. There's something I call my husband, big woman. Do you know the meaning of big woman? The billionaire himself. It was in those seasons because he had lost major investment, heavy money, and he was withdrawn. He wasn't talking to anybody. So a lot of women, yes, I started bringing it looked like I was the one that, and this wasn't the early stage, this is another season into the marriage. And I stood in, bringing my business was already there. Bringing in, I kept encouraging him, this is not that he lost all this money, that doesn't mean God cannot show up. I said, I intentionally coined out names, one of them is being. So when he comes, I'll start hitting him. You see him moody. I started being one, the billionaire himself, and he would smile. Sometimes in come out of the mood, we discuss. I kept speaking, and he navigated through those seasons, get back into business, and he's fine. So the sensitivity of the wife matters when your man is going through crisis. It's not the time to leave him and go. It's not the time to pack your bag and go, maybe start dating other men. Marriage, there should be commitment, there should be security. Security here is, if there is crisis, I am secure. Your marriage should be an emotional safe place, not where you ridicule your partner, but everybody feel loved, whether they provided or not. These are the things that make marriages work. It's not all bed of roses. Thank you for sharing your story. A man is emotionally not present. What should a woman do? maybe gives you silent treatment, he refuses to talk to you. Some of them stay on their phone forever, some of them watch movies forever, talk with other people, but refuses to meet the woman's emotional need. What should a woman do?
I think that's the time you should love the man and show him support.
Excuse me. It's not even like that.
No, it's not, but for peace to reign, you know.
But you have to want.
I think that's the best time to show him love and support, man. But do it with sense, Sha. Because you know you might
You might do what? Listen, let's be frank on this show. But you have a point. You have a point. You see, in my book, Emotional Brilliance for Women, there's a place I talk about emotional needs of everyone. Then the next sub-chapter that followed is the need for you to feed it. Feed those emotions. When you understand, everybody wants acceptance, wants to be loved, wants to be shown kindness, some form of security, acceptance, validated. Now, when you are in a relationship where the man is emotionally detached from you, that's not the time to go start feeling something is wrong with you. You're good for nothing and all that. Be happy. Feed, yes. One of the purposes of marriage is for emotional needs to be met and physical needs. But in a situation where the man is not available to give it, you don't go killing yourself. In fact, the more you nag the man about it, the more he is prone not to give it to you, except you bring constructive communication. So what do? Be happy.
love upon yourself.
Yes, love upon yourself. A lot of those good emotions are fruits of the spirit. Spend more time with the Lord. They will rub off on you. Then you now start giving him. Honey, how are you? How is your day today? You look good. Appreciation. Appreciate him. You are a wonderful person. Praise him. Show him you see him. Now you are not exuding what is on the inside. Because some women get too attached to their husbands and it can also cause problems. If the man is not feeding you emotionally, feed yourself and get him constructively to see you. One of the reasons why we are here is to meet each other's emotional need. I don't like it when you don't ask after me, you blank me out, you don't care. Please, can you do something more? Can you check up on me more? You're explaining your need with clarity in your spot. In a situation where the man has not learned that, okay, be happy, be whole, be peaceful, be kind, exude those qualities. It's been an amazing time with my sister, Grace. Watch out for more of this. We've talked about different. I hope you're blessed by this chat. Okay? Let every married woman forward this to every married woman you know. And if you're a guy seeing this, forward it to every married woman or even singles you know. This will actually help them prepare for marriage. And for the married ones, it will help you navigate through the difficult seasons of your marriage and be whole. Keep thriving.